Good morning. Well, since I'm stuck in traffic here, I figured I'd make a video. 5 things that I don't think you should waste your money on as a hunter. Specifically, we're talking about deer hunting. Yeah. All right, number 1. Now this is largely dependent on what type of hunting you do. If you use slugs through a shotgun, this might be different than, say, if you're hunting with a rifle. But if you live in a state where dog hunting is permitted or you can use buckshot, I would tell you to avoid overspending on high dollar chokes. And it's not that the chokes are bad. Your gun, when you buy it, comes with 3 different chokes: modified, improved cylinder, and full choke. When you're buying a buckshot choke, usually most of the time, 99% of the time, those chokes are like extra full chokes or extra full chokes. The performance that you get from these chokes is largely dependent on a number of things. The shell that you're shooting, whether you're shooting 2 3/4, 3-inch, or 3.5-inch shells, the type of buckshot you're using, if you're using double aught, number 1, triple aught, whatever. I would always, just to be on the safe side and to, keep your bank, your bank balance a little bit higher, stick with, the factory chokes that your gun came with. That being said, if you're using rifled slugs, you can, purchase things. You can get different chokes. You can get, deer barrels for those. But, if you're somebody who goes into the woods and, you're looking to save money, I just wouldn't fork out the money for that. Number 2, high dollar optics. Again, this largely depends on what type of hunting you're doing. If you're using a rifle or a muzzle loader, it might be a good idea for you to invest in a little scope. That being said, a lot of state ordinances, there are counties that won't even allow you to use a rifle. And this is largely due to, the type of land that you're hunting. So if you're just using buckshot and, you're hunting with a shotgun, I would never advocate for using high dollar optics. Obviously during muzzleloader, that's a completely different thing. In that case, you want to, get yourself, a decent scope. And I would find something tried and true, something that you can lock in, something that's going to perform very well. You can find some pretty good scopes on eBay, truthfully. The thing with using eBay is it's always a crapshoot. Always try to check the approval rating on the person you're buying from, and make sure that they're, somebody who, clearly knows a lot about the product that they're selling. It's not just somebody who bought it at a garage sale or something and they're trying to turn a quick profit. Usually these people have sold similar items, so you can see what items they've sold, and if they have a pretty good description, always read the description to make sure that, it seems like this person knows what they're talking about. Another thing that I don't like to spend a crazy amount of money on is shells. In that last little short that I posted, I said that 2 3/4-inch buckshot performs just as well as 3-inch or 3.5-inch. And this is largely because most of your shots are going to be within 40 yards. So you don't need, a very heavy shot load in order to put down a deer. And you don't have to go to Bass Pro and buy the most expensive, shells they have. Go to your local Walmart, see what they have. Sometimes, now this is, something for some of you guys hunting with older types of shotguns in particular, if you're using a Remington 1100, ironically enough, sometimes their shells are not very compatible with their own guns. I've had it where, I had a 1100 when I was, a kid, and, I think it was a Magnum 3-inch 1100, and I was shooting 3-inch, slugs, or just about any of their shells. The shells, when they opened up and the shot came out of the shell, they would end up sticking in the chamber. So you have to, go through that mess where you shoot once and then your gun gets jammed up. And no amount of regular maintenance or cleaning is going to fix a shell that's not compatible with the gun that you're shooting. So you always have to, make sure that, I would test shoot to make sure that the shells eject properly from your gun. And if it's an older gun, good luck with that. Number 4, guns. I don't put a lot of stock into, using guns that are super high dollar. I've always gotten guns secondhand. I've only really purchased 2 new guns, and they were both under $600, and largely they performed just as well as the high dollar guns, like your Benellis and Brownings, things like that. You just have to, if you're a good shot, you're gonna perform very well with no matter what kind of gun you have. And if you buy a pump gun, I always suggest getting a 3.5-inch gun so you don't have those chamber issues like I was talking about with ejecting shells. Pump guns are gonna be cheaper for deer hunting, and they're versatile too. I mean, you can use them waterfowl hunting, you can use them for turkey hunting, so don't discount using a pump gun. It's not going to be as expensive. You could typically find pump guns for pretty cheap and with pretty good, camo patterns and things like that. I have no idea what number I'm on. So another thing that I wouldn't waste money on, is high dollar. I've said this before in previous videos, or in my last video, but camouflage. I'm wearing a banded. I don't know what brand this is. I got this for Christmas years ago. Camouflage is going to get bloody. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get ripped up. You're taking it into the woods. You're not walking down, a fashion show. Hunting has become kind of a fashion show. People wearing the fanciest stuff, and if it's warm and it does its basic function, buy it. If it's cheap, Walmart's got good deals on stuff like that. You're not gonna spend over $50 when you go and get like a camouflage jacket at Walmart. Well, we're moving now. Thanks for watching. 5 things that I wouldn't spend money on as a hunter. Have a good one.